Why don't you tell him what movie we're talking about, Anthony?
I'm gonna tell him. I'm gonna tell him the movie that you're making me watch today is directed by Alejandro Inarritu, and it's called Babel, 2006. 2 hours and 23 minutes
Yeah.
of sadness.
Yeah.
Who's got a
So
haiku?
sad, dude.
Who's got a sad haiku?
I got haikus.
I got haiku.
I got a sad haiku and I got a fun haiku.
All right, let me go first.
I did too. All right. Get him.
Ready? Sadness
Yeah.
collected, a bummer as expected, feeling dejected.
Ooh, it
Yeah, that's a
rhymed.
good one. Nice.
Let's
nice.
be honest. Like, even though they don't have to rhyme, when they do, there's better.
It was fun. It was fun.
It's
It was a
just
fun
great.
listen, even though it was sad. It was a sad, fun listen.
I felt like B Rabbit for a second. All right, give me yours.
Sure, what you got one?
Yeah. Cultural threads bind. Words lost in the wind of fate. Babel's tale unfolds.
Feel like you had a good opportunity to rhyme some things there.
Yeah, but I'm not that
Almost.
creative sometimes. It's after 7.
All right. Well, I got two. One's fun. One's not fun, and they don't rhyme. Neither rhyme. Here we go. Tragedy unfolds. Bullet with butterfly wings. Grief transcends worldwide.
Bullet with butterfly wings. Bullet with butterfly. Bullet.
Yeah, got it.
Butterfly
7.
It's a
wings.
Smashing Pumpkins song.
Oh.
Yeah, dog. And it makes sense. It's very fitting to this movie. Am I wrong?
It is. In spite
All right,
of
my
my
f-
rage, I'm still just a renegade.
That's the
song.
that's
my
that
fun-
song.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
It's called Bullet
And
with
the other one
butterfly wings.
is-
Tis
Full of
true,
butterfly.
tis a fact.
Yeah, that's a fucking. We should clip this out and just let the world know, because nobody knows
Yeah.
that.
I knew
Yep.
that. That's why I said it.
Yeah, but you're special.
I am special. Don't forget.
All
Jake,
right,
go on.
My other one is hairy monsters and communication breakdowns. Guns are bad. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good one. When
That-
she said he's about to
Hairy
meet the
monster.
real hairy monster, I cried a little bit.
Yeah.
That was a funny
Yeah,
one.
pretty good.
All
Hairy
right.
monster is definitely a funny term. How to use it. Those are my haikus. Those are the haikus. That was a fun haiku section, guys.
Haikus
did
for
it.
Babel. Babel, 2006. Babel. Tragedy. Babel.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well,
Kate Blanchett. Babel.
Overall comments, or should I get to the story, or how are you guys feeling?
Kids
I mean,
shoot
I guess
buses. Babel.
I guess what I'd like to talk about a little bit is how I feel like Inarritu's had like 2 careers. The career like this movie and before, and then the career of this movie and after. Because it kind of switched a little bit. You know what I mean? His filmmaking style kind of switched too. He started using a different DP, and he kind of got a little bit Terrence Malick-y. Like he'd switched
He
it up a little bit.
What do you mean? He kind
No,
of
he did. Like his first 3 were filmed like this movie. A lot of handheld, a lot of like sporadic editing and erratic editing and like music montages. Like, but in his other shit like Birdman and The Revenant and Bardo, the newest one
good
he did,
stuff.
like he uses.
I think he went from Rodrigo Prieto to Emmanuel Lubezki.
Yes. Rodrigo Prieto
Yeah.
started his career with doing this dude's movies.
I mean, Lubeski is.
Lubezki's
Lubezki's
kind of the
his-
man. Yeah,
he won.
he's one of the
Didn't he win
besties.
3 in a row with Inarritu, or
He
2
did.
with Inarritu and 1 with?
He won 2 with Inarritu, and
One
Peron
with
was the other
Alfonso.
one for
Yeah,
Gravity.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, that
I mean,
movie.
I think
Let's talk about
I mean,
that
I-
movie. But that's a good
Prito
movie.
Prito's also won. No, Prito's been nominated for 3. He hasn't won any. My
Well,
bad.
he's done all Scorsese's last like 5 movies, and he's done like 2 Ang Lee movies. He's done like 4 fucking.
Yeah.
He's done like 4 Oliver Stone movies.
Yeah, he was nominated for Irishman, Silence, and Brokeback Mountain.
Yeah, he did
Wow,
Brokeback
that's-
Mountain.
Prito.
That's a good
Yeah.
movie.
But yeah, and then there was a
And his
transitional
new
period
one is
of.
Killers of the Flower Moon. He DP'd that too.
Ooh, can't wait
Oh,
for that.
he's doing. Oh, that'll be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you're right. There was a beautiful in the middle of Babel and
21
Birdman.
grams.
There was beautiful. 21 grams was before Babel,
Oh.
and then there was beautiful after Babel, and then I feel like that's when he made the shift was like Birdman.
Yeah,
like
Birdman was-
Birdman
I
and
thought
Revenant
Beautiful
were
was
had like
before this.
connected. No, beautiful. It was I believe after this. I think that was like 2010 or something.
Okay.
And then, yeah, and
But
then
yeah,
he had
he did. He has, like, 2
Amores
separate careers.
Perros. Yeah, he had the Death trilogy. I think he called it was Amores Perros was his first one. 21 grams, and this they all were like those interconnecting stories, all linked to like a certain incident, or I think often revolved like death or tragedy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
there was a heavy, sad.
What
tragedy
happened to this
movie.
man to make him make such sad movies?
I think he's just very, very deep in a feeling and poetic. I think he kind of makes poetry sometimes. I think Birdman and Revenant honestly are like poetry to me. Like, I'm not trying to be like pretentious or like sound weird, but it's really is. It's like it is like a poem almost. Like he's showing you whimsically like what's coming out of his head, and it's told grandiose and with those wide lenses, and like I said, that Terrence Malick movement. And I say Terrence Malick because Leonid Lubezki's DP'd all Terrence Malick's movies since he's come back, since like Badlands. Like Badlands and Days of Heaven he'd made in the 70s, and then he came back with Thin Red Line, which actually Thin Red Line wasn't DP by him, but the rest of them were.
Right.
But Thin Red Line also doesn't have that feel. It has a regular feel.
But yeah, those two definitely have like the connection, like a not really narratively, but visually, those two are very similar. And I think they were
Same
only
DP.
a year apart, right? It's probably
Yeah.
maybe a couple years apart. I think a year apart because he won back-to-back Best Directors for those movies, and Emmanuel Lubezki won
3 in a
DP or for all of those movies. So yeah,
Yeah.
good job, Minioritu. Kind of
Yeah, he's a good storyteller, and he does it with an eye that is really his. You know, I mean, you can tell in an Inarritu movie. At least I can. Like, I know what it is.
Yeah, for sure. And tonally, you're right. He had those like first four, really, especially these first three the trilogy movies like, are all very similar in tone. Beautiful is very similar in tone. It's just only like one narrative. It's only about that one character. It's not
But it
jumping
still
around.
looks like these movies.
It's very much so. Yeah, very much.
Because Prieto did that too.
Look and feel. Yeah.
Yeah, that was his last movie with this director. It was beautiful.
Did he not do Bardo?
No, that was done by fucking
Because Lubezki didn't do Bardo.
DP 7 and Uncut Gems.
Oh,
and
okay.
Darius
City of Lost- Darius Kanji. Yeah.
Okay. Because Bardo was not very good, and it almost was trying to be Lubezki too hard, but it wasn't. Didn't pull it off. Because I mean, it was Inarritu's directing that was driving that, but it just didn't. I don't know. Did you see Bardo?
Let's go to.
Did you see Bardo?
I saw like 45 minutes of it and turned it off.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that. What is Inarritu's style exactly? Not Inarritu, fucking Lubezki. Like, it's just wide lens movement, like fucking like the wind. It's like the camera's kind of just floating around, and you're kind of
well for those three. These
what he
not
does.
as much. I mean,
this isn't. I'm not talking about Inarritu right now. I'm talking about Lubezki. Like that's what I'm trying to figure out. Because you were talking about those two directors being linked, and I said the feeling of their movies is the same because of the DP. But what is it? It's just wide lens. You know what else Lubezki DP has a lot of wide lenses is Burn After Reading. He didn't. It doesn't move like that, but he DP Burn After Reading too.
Yeah, it does have the same movement, but yeah.
But it has the same framing a lot, like the wide frames with a lot going on in it, and it uses like the lower angles a lot too.
Yeah, floating long takes, especially in Bird.
When I think of
Revenant.
his style, it's like it's noticeable is one thing. So you notice
moving camera.
You notice the camera. The camera's a part of the story.
Yeah,
but not necessarily
right,
in that movie. Not necessarily in Burn After
You see a
Reading.
lot.
Brad Pitt in that movie, so good.
Yeah. Generally, if you see a Lubezki, you can tell it's a Lubezki. Not always, but a lot of the time, it's probably dependent on what the director is working with, of course.
Wait, what movie are we talking about now?
Beautiful.
Just Lubezki in general.
Birdman.
Okay.
Gravity.
Yeah.
Birdman. They're all oneers.
Gravity's great. Man.
I mean,
Birdman's
made to look like it's a oneer. Yeah,
one shot continuously. Yeah,
it's made to look like
movie.
that.
Yes.
Yeah, like this movie didn't have.
Killed
from what I recall, there wasn't any of those like really long, crazy takes. This was more
it's
like
all. This movie's. They say it's all handheld. This entire movie's handheld. Every shot.
Well, there was definitely some lock off like landscape shots. I would have to think.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Unless he's just holding
shot,
a camera still, but like there's some big landscape shots that were pretty nice.
The one shot of the end when they're holding each other on the balcony, that was either a drone or a green screen. I couldn't tell.
Yeah, I was wondering about that myself. Would have done a little research.
I was like, man, if that's a real shot.
Peak ass. 2006 it came out.
Yeah, but they were putting cameras on drones, right? Could have been a helicopter too.
Could have been a helicopter.
Yeah, true. Could have been one of those.
Because it definitely
was
was
only
the
one
same
shot.
camera.
So.
It was the same camera they shot the whole movie with. It wasn't like a drone shot. Like they definitely had a camera on it. Whatever it was. All right, so we talked a lot about that. So what's up with Babel, dude? Why'd you make us watch this movie? All right, and actually, I guess we can talk about this later, where you rank this in your Inarritu movies. But all right, go ahead, tell us about it.
Yeah, we couldn't rank it in Inarritu's. All right, yeah, Babel. I chose it. Just I really liked the narrative style of this movie. I just I thought it would be fun to discuss, just like different angles, different how one incident can affect so much, has the butterfly effect, if you will. And I liked its scale, like the big global scale of it all. It was interesting in that sense. It's not necessarily an enjoyable film, but it was definitely like, you definitely feel something out of it. It's definitely it's an emotional film.
I never got bored with it, that's for sure, for being 2 hours and 23. I think it's just because it kept jumping around, so it kind of served anybody with ADD pretty well, because as soon as you got bored with whatever was happening, the next story happened, and that always kept my attention. And then as slowly you saw as they how they were connected, it kept my interest the whole time, which is cool.
I mean, I expected out of the three stories
bored.
that were told, I was really into one of them more than the other ones. Like I really, not that I didn't care about them, but they were just more entertaining to me. I mean, there was some lightheartedness in the movie that I think was necessary too, that I liked in the in the girl story, the deaf girl story. That was a good one. I like seeing the world through her ears sometimes. Like being just like I was watching it, I was like, man, being in a club like that, not being able to hear what that sounds like would be insane. And if you've never heard that, like if she was born deaf, like you've never heard that, you will never hear that. Like that's crazy.
And I did enjoy that one, but that one was the one that felt you don't really know the connection. Really, it didn't really have the connection directly.
Even the
as it did with
actual
the other
connection
stories.
was like whatever.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
it
you
kind
know
of
what?
wasn't fully.
I thought that, but then I thought about it and I was like, it was kind of the smallest connection, but it's also the biggest because without that little connection, none of the movie happens. If that connection wasn't without that one connection, none of it is it. Like then nothing happens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, and
without
there was
that
a
connection, the movie's
thought
not a thing.
I had that they didn't tell you is what caused it, but just I mean we're obviously right now we're jumping to the very end to discuss this point, but whatever.
That's what we
the
do.
reason the girl was all depressed and fucked up was because her mom killed herself. And the guy at the very end revealed that the mom shot herself.
Yeah.
He never said it was with that rifle, but it could have been that rifle.
And that's why he gave it away.
That's why he gave it away, and that's why the girl was even further depressed.
Yeah, but
because
can
most
you
of it
shoot
seemed
yourself
connected.
with a rifle like that?
It's hard.
It's too big, isn't it?
It's probably it would definitely
blow
blow her head off pretty good. Kurt Cobain.
Kurt Cobain
I think
apparently did.
You can if you do it the right way. I mean, there's a way to do it, but
do you guys not realize that that's the gun that he gave to the dude that shot?
No,
the,
yes,
on the
I
bus?
100%.
That's the connection I was talking about. I wasn't talking about the mom anyway.
The story was more about the girl and her feeling about feeling depressed and like grieving and stuff. It was more about the girl being affected by the mother's death.
That was
the mother's
the
death
story.
wasn't. Yeah, the mother's death wasn't connected to the gunshot. It was just sort of like adjacent to it because it was the husband that gave this gun away. Now, if it was the mother that killed herself with that said rifle, then I could see the connection being stronger. But just because that girl's father gave this person a rifle, like it didn't really have anything to do with why the girl was feeling the way she was feeling.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but without the rifle being given to the dude who's
sons, I got that, but I'm saying
the key to it all.
The guy giving the rifle away has no effect on the girl. That's my point.
Well, no, it does because she got to embrace her sadness by meeting the cop and being able to talk about it with him, and then she get to hug her dad naked and resolve her problems.
Okay, maybe it had a little bit of resolution to it, but the overall her story within the film didn't have that connection. That's all I was trying to say. But yes, it was of course connected through that, and that was the connection. I just felt like that
had the
connection was like the weakest link.
Yeah,
in a way.
It had the weakest connection, even though it was the linchpin for everything.
Yeah, when the other three stories were directly connected by the gunshot. Like the gunshot was the reason why the police were after the boys. The gunshot was the reason why Brad Pitt and Cate Blanchett's story, Cate Blanchett getting shot. The gunshot was the reason the kids got taken to Mexico and got lost in the desert. It was the gunshot, but the gunshot wasn't the reason why
the gunshot
Japanese girl was sad.
The kids,
yeah, because they would have been. I think they would have been home if they didn't
they were on their way to the airport the next day.
But that wasn't the reason the first kid died. However, the first kid died. We don't know how the first kid died.
No, they were just.
Yeah, is that so? That's it. Again, that's another thing I wasn't quite sure on. They had a kid who died, right? That's what happened. But it wasn't the first kid. It was the last kid, right? It's the first one.
It was like I think it was a very recent one. It was
yes,
I think
exactly.
Died as like an infant, like a baby, the baby died.
Yes. Okay. I thought you meant
probably
the first one before their kids. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I got that too.
Like they had a baby that just passed away, and then they were going on
a trip to get away from it.
Yeah, exactly. They're trying to get away from it all. Just be alone. And then Cate Blanchett's just a sad bitch the whole time, and she was just like, this is not getting away. Don't drink their water. These people are dirty. And then she gets shot by what people think is a terrorist, but it wasn't actually a terrorist. It was just a kid.
Drink that water, though. Let's be real.
Yeah, that's true.
No, you definitely shouldn't.
So, all right, narratively, it's interesting because it jumps around a bit. It's not exactly linear, but it starts with the incident of this Moroccan family, the goat herder father. He buys a gun off of a different farmer, and the kids are basically, he has two sons that they're told to basically hunt off the jackals. And these jackals will
not kill the goats.
Hunt the goats. Yeah, exactly. So the kids are kind of shitheads. They're goofing around the whole time. They're kids. They're
new rifle goofing.
I think the one kid that actually did shot the bus they try to make him look a little bit more weirder because he was a little pervy, looking at his sister jerking off on the side of the
Jerk
mountain,
off.
things like
Was
that.
it his sister?
I
No,
think
it's not
so.
sister by blood. I think it was sister by. They took her off the streets. They said.
Oh, okay, I missed that part.
Yeah, they took that
Okay.
chick off
I
the
missed
streets.
all. I
So
missed
like
all the related.
stepsister porn.
Yeah, they're kids. They're
I'm
kids
for it.
together.
Okay,
Yeah,
Not
they're
blood
touching-
related.
They're just they're kids. They're touching each other's hoo-haws.
I missed that part. It's less weird, but still weird.
Still weird.
So either way, they're fucking around in the mountains. One of the boys shoots at cars. The older brother is not a good shot. He misses a car, shoots the rifle all wonky. The younger son or the younger kid, he
Well,
ends
hold
up
on,
shooting
before
a
you go on
bus.
for that, like that's the
And
thing
then-
that's established pretty well off too in the beginning is the older brother is definitely not as good of like I feel like his younger brother is more of like who he wants to be. Usually like the younger brother looks up to the older brother. I think it's like opposite right now because the younger brother's got more
His
like
dad- because
skills
wh-
and
when they
dad likes him
first
better.
got the gun, they gave it to the kid, and everyone made fun of the older one. And when the younger kid shot, everyone was like, "Oh yeah, he's really good. He's gonna kill all the jackals."
And I say it's important because that really does drive the reason why he does shoot the fucking thing is because the older brother's like, you can't do that. And he's like, yeah, I can, bro. Like, you know what I mean? And it's a fucking child type thing. It's like a sibling rivalry, and that's what causes it. It's like innocent. It's like they did the worst thing you could do, but trying to be in like the most innocent way.
It was like super innocent, and he fucking murdered something. Well,
Murdered somebody.
Yeah, and children obviously don't think about the repercussions, and that's what this movie is all about.
Yes, it is.
Every child should probably watch this movie. It's like this is what happens when you fuck around.
Maybe I'll become a substitute teacher and throw this movie in schools.
Yeah, I'd hope so.
And then teach
Guys,
gun
on
safety
again.
Yeah,
bring in a gun, shoot somebody.
This is a movie about gun safety at its core.
There's a lot to be learned for gun safety in this movie.
That's true. All right,
so from there, I believe we don't really see what happens yet within the bus. We just see that he shoots the bus and the bus stops. And they kind of just run away as kids would. And then I believe it jumps to America, where you meet Amelia. She's taking care of these two young little blonde kids. One of them played by Elle Fanning.
Oh yeah, little young Elle, dude.
Little young Elle. And she's like, gets a phone call. Talking, and it sounds like Brad Pitt on the other line. I don't know if you're supposed to know that right away, but I knew that it was Brad Pitt right away. And you hear them talking about
pretty quickly you realize everything
something bad happened. It's not told yet, but something happened. And and then I think the next day she gets a phone call again from him, and he's more frantic and like, you got to do this. You can't go. Like, Rachel's not coming. It's blah, blah, blah. You can't go to your son's wedding. So too bad. And she's put in a position where she's like, oh, fuck. She has to go to her son's wedding. So she ends up taking the kids to Mexico. That's what happens pretty much right away, right?
She takes the kids to Mexico,
with her nephew, Santiago.
She tries to pawn them off to other ladies who take care of families, but no one will do it because it's kind of a weird situation. Like, no one's going to have this extra kids around. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So even though she wasn't supposed to, she just does anyway. She wants to go to her son's wedding. Seems to be harmless at the time.
They have a great time there.
They do.
Yeah, the kids are killing it, hanging out, chasing chickens and shit. I think they
beheaded
a chicken.
Little culture shock at the beginning, but they seem to, they're like, all right, they embrace it.
Yeah, but those kids spoke that language. They understood everything that was happening.
Mostly, I think maybe a little disoriented, but like they understood. I think
they're disoriented for what's happening to them, but like they understand, like they hear and see and they know what's happening. They know what the adults are saying. They get the situation. You know what I mean?
True.
It's not like if I was over there, they'd be talking. I'd be like, I don't know what the fuck people are saying.
Because they were raised by this woman who's Mexican, who spoke Spanish to them every day, and we see that as we when we meet the kids, and she reads to them, she asks them if they brush their teeth, and she speaks to them in Spanish, and they just so. When they go to Mexico, they're not just outsiders out there. They understand. That's what they're saying. But and they're having a great time. But also, at a certain point, they kill a chicken, and they did not take that very well.
Yeah, they get
well, I wouldn't either if I was a kid and saw that. Like,
not only do they kill it, he grabs it by the neck, spins it around until his head pops off, and then the body just keeps clucking away by itself. And then all the other
little kids all run after it, like
That was pretty
awesome.
funny.
Yeah, it was awesome.
You guys ever
since
chased
we were
chickens?
talking about this, no.
You never chased chickens? You ever been on a farm? Chased chickens?
No,
dude.
I've definitely been on a farm and chased chickens, like grabbed them.
You look like a chicken chaser with that mustache.
Look at this little chicken chaser right here.
That's what you should call that from now on.
Oh, you're growing a mustache, huh? Yeah, I call it the chicken chaser. The fuck does that mean?
Deal with it. Say that.
Deal with it. You ever see a chicken chaser? Anyway, I've been on farms
Do you
chasing
guys
chicken.
do you
I
guys know
looked
what
at
Babel
Jillian. I was like,
means?
Jillian, you ever chased a chicken? You ever done that? And she's like, no. I was like, oh, that's weird.
Did
that you've never
Jillian
done that."
enjoy this flick?
No.
Oh my god, you guys are talking about fucking chicken still.
All right, go ahead, Jake.
Jill, I was going to
Jake's
ask you,
vegan.
are you aware of what Babel means?
I mean, are you
It's
talking
in
about
it.
the Tower of Babel?
Yeah, it's not. I wasn't say it's
That's
religious.
part.
in
That's
some
partly
sort, right?
where it comes from. Yeah.
Go
Kinda
on.
got into it.
Enlighten us, Jakey Poo.
From the biblical
Yeah, the
story.
biblical Babel. Yeah, it's where there was like a curse of like different languages and the division of people in miscommunication, and it refers to miscommunication and confusion from one meaning is confusion by like multiple voices at one time, and then the other one is about more reference to communication
sounds like our
breakdown
podcast.
because of language. Yeah.
Yeah,
you guys are all
well,
in chicken
in the
land.
biblical sense, the people, to sum it up, to sum up the biblical story, the people were getting so haughty and toddy. They're thinking, I'm just as good as God. I'm gonna build a tower that's gonna reach God, and we're gonna go talk to God. And they got on this Tower of Babel. I believe this is the story. And they went up and they were like, we're going to be just as good as God up here on our fucking tower. And God was like, oh, you guys think you can be as good as me? How about that? Zagdown! Throws a lightning bolt at the tower, explodes them. When they all hit the ground, everyone speaks a different language, can't talk to each other anymore. And he was like, what do you think about that? You think you could try building a tower when you can't talk to each other? Something like that. That's how the biblical story goes. Genesis.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
so
Muzzle
reference to miscommunication because of different languages and such, and they're all kind of put in strange positions and that they don't fully speak the languages that they're in.
I like strange positions.
Whatever.
Americans
So
in
you're saying the
Morocco.
kids don't speak Spanish? Is that what you're trying to say?
Not fully. I don't think they're fluid,
They're
but
pretty
I
good,
think
dude.
they have.
No, they're
they have-
pretty fluid. I'm
they have
pretty sure
another
they're
time.
fluid.
I don't think they're fluid, but I think
Fluid?
they're
fluid speakers.
fluent. I don't think they're fluent fully. I mean, I think they
Fluidly
understand,
spook-
but not
fluidly spook-
not completely. They're kids,
Boy, I
and
look like a cop.
They're kids. I know a lot of kids who speak Spanish. They're
Also-
Spanish people.
and also reference to the Americans in Morocco.
I know some
Also
people that
reference
teach
to
their
a
kids
deaf
Spanish
girl and a
along with
hearing
English, like right away.
Man, you guys are talking over each other.
Smart, because kids' brains are more plastic when they're younger, so they can learn languages. I know a baby that speaks.
All right,
sign
they
language.
they speak fluent Spanish. Moving on to the next story is that the
Fluent
fucking
or
parents are in
fluid?
Morocco. They speak fluent Spanish. I agree. Everyone happy? Great. They speak fluent Spanish.
I've never been happy.
We're going to Morocco. This movie's not happy. No one be happy. Shut the fuck up. Morocco. White people, Morocco. They're mad they're in Morocco. They're on their way home. They get on a bus. Kate Blanchett gets shot on the bus.
Yeah.
Jump to Japan.
You
Volleyball
meet the
tournament.
deaf mute. They say that
God.
about each other like 4 times in this movie. She's like, "Are they deaf mutes like us?" She's a deaf mute. And I'm like, "Damn, why they gotta like do her like that? Just say her name and tell her she can't hear."
Well, I think they were wondering if they were specifically deaf and mute like us. Not doing
Yeah.
dirty. She was like, "Can't he talk and hear?"
Well, no,
Or
I'm like,
do I
talking about
gotta
when they
do this
introduced
to
her and
him?
shit. No, when they introduced her and shit, like the guy's like, "Yeah, she's a deaf mute." I guess it is for educational, let her know that's how you gotta communicate, but still, it's like it's kind of rude. I mean, it just seems kind of rude.
What are you supposed to do? Just be like, she's not listening to you.
Hey, she's just
She
a regular
doesn't wanna-
person, and then
she
just
doesn't wanna
let
talk
you
to you.
figure out how to communicate with her
Yeah.
instead of just giving you a heads up.
I
She's
personally
just
would rather
rude.
that. I personally would rather that.
He's rather like, why can you not hear me? Are you deaf? And she's like,
I think it'd be-
"Yes."
I think it'd be apparent pretty quick, so it'd be okay.
Yeah, because they would
Well-
go like this: I'm deaf mute.
And that's great. They can tell me then.
Half the time you guys introduce me to people, you're like, he's vegan. Doesn't matter why, but
That
you
does
still
not.
do.
True.
That's just funny though.
Here's Jake. He's vegan.
Yeah. And I
All
can
right,
still
keep
talk
going.
and hear people. But
Keep going.
so yeah, they're playing volleyball.
Killer.
She's all sad for some reason. I don't know if we figure out why right away, but they think it's because she hasn't gotten laid yet. So we get a lot of
This girl is horny.
A lot of this girl showing
fucked up.
showing
This
her
girl's
bush
got
around town.
Daddy problems, mommy
Yeah,
problems.
this girl wants to fuck.
Yeah.
Like mommy committed suicide and daddy doesn't talk to her. Daddy wasn't there. He's across. He's in fucking Egypt shooting giraffes. So she gotta get that dick somewhere else.
So from there, they would, we jump around a little bit. It's hard to tell this movie in exact linear form because it's not in linear form. So we'll do it in the chunks. We go back to the kids at some point. Now people are looking for whoever shot this American because they think there's like a terrorist situation going on. So there's the Moroccan version of the FBI is cruising around talking to different people.
These guys don't give a fuck. They will kill you. They will beat you. There's no no rules. They can do whatever the fuck they want. Which I was like, holy shit.
They want answers.
He told the kid he would cut his balls off if he lied to him. I was like, all right.
It's funny. His response was like, "Okay, you can come back anytime."
Yeah, it was ballsy.
That kid was ballsy.
Ballsy.
Kid's a little shit.
Ball decapitated.
But either way, then they run back to dad and they're like, yeah, these cops are looking for you because they're actually looking for us because we're the one who killed the American. They're under the impression they killed the American tourist at this time because that's what the word on the street is, apparently.
That's what everyone's saying.
Which is, it's soon to be a terrorist attack. And let's see, where do we go from there? The bus is pulled into the village where she's, Kate Blanchett is essentially dying because she got shot, and they're trying to just stop the bleeding, rescue her as much as they can, while people on the bus are like, we want to get the fuck out of here, we want to go home. The bus, I think, is taking people to hotels or the airport.
What's your
or something.
Opinion on that? If I was on the bus, I'd be like, yo, this is your problem now. Like, I'm sorry, but bus ain't gonna help you. We're out of here.
Yeah, sadly enough, I think I'd be with the people because they're all of them, like, it's hot, they can't run the AC, it's like they're like older people, they're not in good health. Like, these people need to get home as well. And
you decided not to take the bus to the hospital, which was 5 hours away, and I don't know how long they were. I mean, she survived, which is whatever.
Well, also, that's my problem with this whole situation is they said the hospital was 4 hours away, and they just lay there for the whole time. So why not drive to the fucking hospital? That's my only problem with this movie is why they could have been at the hospital by the end of this movie.
Fucking collarbone. Bitch got hit in the collarbone. You're gonna be fine.
I don't understand.
Your only problem? That's your only problem?
That's it. This movie was great, but that was the only thing. Why didn't they just go to the hospital?
That, and he's just not a fan of Arabs.
No, Arabs are fine. I just don't know why they didn't go to the hospital.
The Arab language makes me upset.
They should have gotten the fucking bus and drove to the hospital and called it a day. Everybody wins.
Yeah, they wanted to be airlifted because they're privileged, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, that's true. It's a good point. Brad Pitt is essentially freaking out this entire movie. I think Brad Pitt did a pretty good job of being a
old as shit
husband. He looks stressed, bro.
Super old, dude.
Yeah,
stress.
There's a lot going on in his life.
He looked old, and this was 20 years ago. He was only he was like a little
I looked it up.
us.
He was 43, I think, when he made this movie, like 42 or 43.
And now he's
Kate Blanchett was like
so.
Our age at this time. Kate Blanchett was like 36 or 37, always looking good.
Yeah, she was played this whole movie on the floor.
Yeah,
true.
Peeing her pants.
Her performance wasn't top notch, but it was good for what it was.
Pants.
What do you think was strongest? You thought the movie sucked?
No, this movie did not suck.
We got a great and we got a sucked. I think it was pretty good, very good, pretty good.
I will never watch this movie again. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I think I saw it a long time when it first came out, and I was into Inaritu stuff, and then saw it twice in the last week, and that's probably I'm good for a while. It made me want to watch Amores Perros because I haven't seen that in a really long time.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
I've seen 21 Grams a couple of times, so
21 Grams is my least favorite movie I've seen.
Good on that one.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, so interconnecting fucking plots. The kids that was pretty sad. Like when the dad's like fucking finds out that the kids are the ones who did it, and they had to tell him, and like he's like, yo, he's watching her fucking get naked, and he's like smacking him. He says, why did you do this to us? And I was like, oh my god, that's devastating. He's true. It's like their life is over,
and then the kid dies for
sure.
It
was even crazier.
That choice ruined that family's life essentially. I mean, it could have been worse. I mean, I don't know. They didn't really show the aftermath of what happened with the kids.
He just wanted to kill some jackals. That's it. He just wanted to kill some jackals.
They're fucking kids. They were goofing around.
The goats.
Yeah. Just don't shoot buses, bro. And it's interesting because they had they were just under the impression this woman died. I don't think they knew anything about them, or I don't think Brad Pitt and Kate Blanchett knew anything about the people that shot him. They just probably assumed it was terrorists.
Yeah,
it was weird. I did notice that
everything's lost in translation. Everything like you're gonna get parts of it from different sides,
and you see little glimpses of it with the people watching the news. Because at one point, when the Japanese girl's home, like you're not hearing the TV, but you see the kid's picture pop up.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so at some point, like they figured out it was the kid. It wasn't
the dad's on there too.
It was great.
Okay, the dad was on there too.
Yeah.
And I know eventually through that Japanese story at the very end, the cops in the diner, like just I think having a sake, and then he's watching the news, and it's like what's her name? She ends up being she's gonna be fine, and she's released from the hospital. So that's the way you find out about their story. So.
Yeah, which is awesome. Like Anthony said, it's done very well. That's the thing. That's what holds this movie together. Is that like there's a lot going on, but you're never, like you said, you're never bored, and it's not confusing in any way. Like
Yeah.
I think certain things reveal themselves in better ways that he wants to reveal themselves, but everything was pretty clear. And to be able to tell the story that's pretty good. Like you got to be good at that. Like just the editing of it's got to be pretty great. The pacing of it and what goes where, and I think it was cool that like the first time you see the bus at all, like they shoot it and then you only see it from them and like, it stops and they don't go to it right away. And then later you see it from their point of view and she got shot through the window. Like that shot was pretty insane. Like just sitting there and all of a sudden it's like just into her fucking, like that was wild. That was
because you don't. It's too far away for them to hear gunshots. You don't hear you just see the glass break and she's bleeding. Like you're like, what just happened?
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. They
wild.
keep you invested in those weird ways, and the pacing's good because it is nicely how it is like jumping around.
Yeah,
and they seem to cut at like interesting moments too, like dramatic parts. Then they'll jump away to another thing, and then it'll start like another small story, and it'll build up to that crazy point of that story, and then they'll jump to another.
Make you forget. Like when I watched when it got back to the bus and she was leaning on the glass right before she got shot. Like I forgot about that. Like I don't know. When Jillian watched it. I watched it again. Jillian watched. She was like, "Oh, she's gonna get shot right now." I was like, "Why don't you just fucking shut up and watch the movie?" But I forgot about. Like, I mean, not that I forgot. I just wasn't present in mind when I was watching that scene and that happened. I was like, "Oh fuck!" And I immediately it clicked. But they did a good job in the pacing and to make it be like to bring you far enough away to kind of like almost make you forget what was about to happen.
When it brings you back, and you're like, oh shit,
hard, yeah.
It's strung out.
Even if it's just Brad Pitt crying on the other line, on the other side of the phone, like once you realize, oh shit, this is the other side and that one of the conversation, it's fucking That's the poster right there.
Yeah, that was a nice full circle moment of the movie, because then you realize like, oh, that shit's hasn't even happened yet in Brad Pitt's world, because you don't even see his reaction to his kids almost fucking dying. He almost lost his kids too, on top of almost losing his wife. So it's like you need the little parts that you don't even get to see. You just have to like think about.
That dude's going through some shit.
Oh yeah.
That story's crazy. How they go to that party and that wedding, and they like that fucking kid's an idiot. Her nephew, kid's a fucking moron.
Yeah,
he fucking ruined that lady's
ruined
life.
the plan.
Yeah,
I mean, she
ruined her whole life.
At its core, technically, she made a bad decision by taking them, but like realistically, it seemed harmless enough. Like where if that didn't happen, it would have been fine.
There was no ill intent behind that at all.
No ill intent, of course. No, she wanted to see her son get married. She thought she could take care of these kids. Not a big deal.
And she did. She did a fine job. She got fucking.
Yeah.
She got backstabbed by her nephew Santiago.
Little nephew scumbag just takes off from the border patrol on their way back, and that was like an intense scene too of them like, have you been drinking?
Yeah.
Are you? Do you have the papers? Where's the letter of permission? They go into the office and shit. That's just a very tense scene, and then eventually he just takes off into the fucking desert and tells them to get out of the car, and they're just wandering around the desert, dude.
Abandons them.
And that's like far into the movie too. You're almost like 2 hours in the movie practically, and
why
they're
did
like,
he do that?
you're at this point because he thinks he can like get away quicker with. I don't know why.
Well, no,
I
think that he
said
thought
he would come back, but
I think that he thought he was gonna like get her out of trouble by not having her in the car. Like they were just gonna get him. I don't think he did it to like fuck her over. I just think there was no other choice. Like if they got pulled over with him in the car, like if he got pulled over with her in the car, they probably would have taken those kids away and done the same thing to her. Like I think he was trying to give her a chance for it not to happen, to be honest. It's just there was no other way to do that. You either like she's in the car or she's not. They're in the fucking desert. So that's the only choice they fucking had. Was it a good choice? No.
Seemed like they got away. They could have just chilled there for a minute, got back in the car and taken off.
You think so? You think he got away? You think
no, I don't know. I've never tried to elude the border patrol.
But he certainly didn't try to come back. At least I don't imagine he did. Maybe
I feel like they caught him. I feel like they fucking caught his ass.
You think so?
Okay. Just didn't see it.
Potentially, yeah.
That's what I took from that.
That's
I feel like they just caught him.
I really about it. Yeah, they definitely could have.
I don't know. I thought when they caught her, they were just like, all right, this was the person we were looking for who busted through the thing.
Yeah, they did say like, I think I found the suspect or something, like Michael Pena. Michael Pena cameo. Shout out to Michael Pena.
Dude.
Yeah, Michael Pena. And also the dude who the Border Patrol guy, he was a pretty famous actor too. He's been in a lot of things. His newest thing was Westworld that I saw him in, but he's really good in a lot of things.
Yeah, he's a character guy, yeah.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of shit. I don't know more shit than Michael Pena, honestly.
Maybe, yeah. Small roles though, yeah.
Yeah, what you got shit on Michael Pena, dude?
I love Michael Pena.
I love Michael Pena. End of Watch, favorite Michael Pena movie.
I met Michael Pena once, or at least I said I liked End of Watch to him at a pizza place in Chicago, and he's just like, "Thanks, man. look out for the sequel. And I'm like,
That's-
what?
That's awesome.
It like took me a
That's
second to get
awesome.
it. I'm like, there's a
That's
sequel.
awesome.
And then then it clicked. I'm like, oh wait, he
He
died in
dead.
that movie.
Yeah.
And he was like already gone by the time I like realized that.
You
I'm
should
like,
have screamed down the road, "Good one, Michael!"
I'm just like, oh, word, nice.
And then he
I'm like,
turns around and goes,
so like
When
quick
you
wit
said
of
that, he was
his
like,
of
"This
him being like,
motherfucker's never seen End of Watch."
look out for the sequel, because I think I had just watched End of Watch recently, and I liked him in it, so I'm like, yo, you're great in End of Watch. He's like, thanks, dude. Look out for the sequel. Hell yeah, that was
you
funny.
know what he was great in
Good-
too
good on
is
him.
the movie with Seth Rogen where he plays the mall cop and he's crazy.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Michael Pena plays the crazy guard with him. What's that called?
Observe and report.
Observe and report. Oh my god, Michael Pena's so
End
good
of
in that.
Watch.
What is End of Watch? Oh no, we just said that.
End of Watch is the one with Jake Gyllenhaal where they're cops in LA.
Yeah.
That's a great movie. That's the movie that really sold me on Jake Gyllenhaal, to be honest.
Whatever. We done talking about this movie?
No, we still gotta wrap up the stories.
What
We
happened?
got like 45 more minutes left this movie.
What?
Wrap it up.
This podcast is longer than the movie.
Yeah, the Border Patrol was the thing that happened.
Michael
That was cool.
Pena arrests her.
Michael
And
Pena
she's
was
like,
there.
the
She re-
kids, you
Michael
gotta go get
Pena
the
got her.
kids. In my head, I'm like,
Yep.
oh fuck, these kids are dead for sure. Like that's where I
And
thought.
we don't
that's
even
where I-
know.
That
Should've.
would have
We
been
don't even
wild.
know if they're
Would've-
not. Yeah.
That's the way it should have gone.
Because they're just like, well, they're not here. You shouldn't have left them, idiot. And
Nah,
he-
they roll
obviously
up
she's-
and they're there, but it's just their bodies and they're all fucking dead.
Right.
And she's like, no, Dios mío. And she tries to give her CPR and she's like pouring water and she's like, no, Abigail's gonna be so sad.
So yeah, she ends up losing her citizenship because of all this malarkey.
I don't think
And
she ever
that's super
had
sad scene
citizenship.
because that's her. I think she had her green card. Or something. I don't know. She's been there for like so many years. I
No,
think she
they
had
said
some
she was
sort
there
of-
illegally. That's why they deported her. 'Cause she was there
it.
illegally.
Okay. All right.
Uh,
Well,
She
she
also
had a life
busted
there.
through the thing and kidnapped some kids. But yeah,
Yeah.
they sent
That's-
her
on
back to
paper, she
Mexico.
kidnapped some kids. Yeah, so it didn't look good. Bad. Sucks.
That's sad.
Her life. Her
She
life
got
is fucked
fucked.
now because of
yeah,
Santiago,
she got fucked hard.
Gael Garcia Bardem.
Well,
Bardem.
She also
because
got
of
nominated for an
Santiago.
Oscar for that movie.
She did. So did the
She was
the
great.
Japanese girl.
Yeah, she did.
They both got Oscar nominations. It's had a few Oscars. They said like 7.
Yeah, best director, best
did
picture,
pretty
best
well.
music, best editing.
Yes, screenplay.
Yeah.
It won best score.
Mhm.
Sad music.
You know what's funny is that when this was over, the movie The Score came on right after it.
Kermit the Frog made that movie.
That is kind of funny.
Almost watched it.
Edward Norton's great in that movie.
It's a good movie. It's a good movie.
So yeah, how else does it wrap up? The kids in Morocco, they get into a gunfight with the cops, which was kind of a cool scene. And then like the older
Sad
brother
scene.
who didn't do anything wrong got shot and killed. And then like the young boy's like, it was me, take me.
After we
Kind of
shot one of
moment.
those motherfuckers.
Yeah, he took out
He
one
shot a
of them,
cop.
so that kid's fucked. They never really showed
a
what
fucking
happened to them, did
cop.
they? They're just kind of like,
I mean, those
Yeah,
guys
they
are going
grab
to
him.
jail or dead.
Yeah, he's definitely going
kids
to jail.
fucked, father's fucked. Yeah. And
They're
then
probably
we,
going to take
ju-
his goats away.
Yeah, probably.
And yeah, we jump back to Japan, and then she tries to fuck a cop, and he's all like, "Girl, I'm a cop. I can't fuck you right now."
She's also
Crazy.
like 17.
Yeah, exactly. And then she says her mother died from jumping off the balcony, and he's like, "That sucks." And then the dad comes home, and the dude's like, "Yo, your rifle that killed a lady. Just FYI, you're not black market, right?" And he's just like, "No, I'm not black market. I'm cool." He's like, "All right, cool. That was a gift for my hunting guide, which ended up being like the farmer that sold the farmer the gun in the beginning of the movie, and that was the connection. Apparently, is just the rifle, and
Not
but we
apparent,
also."
it's fact.
That is
weak-
indeed
It's a
the
weak
only
I
connection.
could have
Kind
done,
of the,
done without Japan this whole movie.
Well, what I
that's
liked about
again another feeling. It was a good story. I did enjoy it, but it didn't feel like that necessary. If it was
What I-
just those other 3 stories and other 3 settings, that would have been probably enough.
What I liked about the Japan was those that like you were getting to experience like something through a deaf person, which I don't really get to see much, and like seeing her frustration and like her sadness. I thought that was kind of cool. Not that it was the best one. I guarantee I'm not saying it was, but
So let's
I feel
watch a
like
deaf
in a
movie.
movie, if you're gonna make a movie about connection and about what it's like not to be able to understand something, like deaf person being in a movie, the main character is smart as fuck. Like that's
Oh,
a really
yeah,
good, that's a
you're
really
right.
good character to have. So like I did think that character was valuable. Whether it had much to do with the other stories besides for the gun, I agree it didn't. But the gun is the catalyst. Without the gun, none of the stories connect.
You're right.
Yeah, no.
But I
you're
think
right.
a stronger connection would have been like that, just that gunshot, because it was more just the one shot is what's connected to 3, and it not
Yeah.
necessarily would have been not necessarily the gun, but yes, the gun was the connection. And if
Yeah.
like I said earlier, if that was the gun that caused the girl's father or the girl's mother
Yeah,
to kill herself,
Yeah.
then that would have been
Even
much
more.
stronger.
Yeah.
Like if the dude's like, yeah, that's the wife.
So do you
or
think
or
it
that's the
is?
rifle? It never was said that it wasn't, but it could have been, and I never really thought about that until like the second time. This time I
what's the
watched it.
point in having him say that at the very end of this fucking movie?
There isn't.
Because I think
but,
just
like-
him correcting the officer, because the girl
Yeah, I
told the
know, but-
officer that she jumped, and he's just like, "Oh, I heard about the balcony thing," and he's just like, "My wife shot herself." So I guess him saying that seemed to hold weight of like maybe it was implying that that was the rifle
Yeah.
or the gun. Maybe it wasn't. We don't know that, but I feel like that's a strong
Let's
connection.
say-
if
let's
it
say
in
it
fact
was.
If it was, I like it more.
Let's say it
It
is.
felt stronger. But if it isn't, it's fine because I still like the story. I just didn't feel as needed.
Why did she lie and say it was a balcony?
I don't know.
I don't know.
She was just
What was the point in all that? Is my fucking
Well,
question.
had he told her that her dad's gun was involved in the situation? Because if he did, that's why. Did he say that? Because I think he did at some point. Was it before she said that or after? I think it was before, because that would be the reason. She's probably like, yeah, she jumped off the balcony. You know what I mean? Maybe that hint.
I'm trying to remember
maybe
if
that
he did
hint
accept
set
the gun or
more
if he
the
just needed to talk to him.
I think he did say something about a weapon your dad, because he says, "Does your dad still hunt?" And she says, "No."
Okay.
And then she says something. He says something about, "I'm not." She says like, "I don't want you talking to my dad about my mom anymore," or whatever. And he's like, "We're not here about your mom. We're here about a weapon of your dad." Doesn't he say that, or am I just not? Is that not happen?
I don't remember if he ever says it to
Yeah, I
her.
think-
That's my thing.
Oh.
I think I got babbled and didn't know because he was there.
Maybe
I
that's
was-
purposely. Maybe they edited it in a way that you're not supposed to be sure if he said it or not.
no,
That'd
and
be
I could
cool.
see that
That'd be cool if it was, man.
they do keep things somewhat ambiguous at times. So
Yeah.
I like that if that was the case.
Best
that rifle
performance in
woulda-
this
woulda
movie.
caused
Who do you
us.
think the best performance was?
Probably the nanny.
She was great. I'd say her
Yeah.
and Brad Pitt were the best.
Brad Pitt was very good too.
Brad Pitt was good.
I like the Moroccans. I like
The family, the dad and the kids.
The
Kids were really
great.
good. They felt very, very. It felt very real. You know what I
Yeah.
mean, it felt very authentic.
Yeah, there's some.
As
strong
did
performances all
Mexico,
around.
Seeing
as did
them
that
go,
wedding.
seeing them go through what they just did, and being kids, just kind of realizing like what the fuck you just did.
Yeah.
And like you said, is like so innocent that they're just kind of fucking around trying to one up each other, being like,
Yeah.
in no way in their mind they think they were gonna fucking hit the thing,
That
the car
bus and
from
hurt
there,
somebody,
the
yeah.
bus from there,
Oh.
just fucking around, and they did. And not only that, they fucking killed somebody. If that's so,
And it cost them their lives, essentially.
cost one of them their life literally, and then the other one.
I mean, who knows what happens to that kid? The way that those people, the way that those FBI type people treated those people, they might shoot that fucking kid.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was another.
maybe.
That's a worry of what actually happened to them. It kind of leaves you in that like fuck, leaves
Maybe.
you
They were
wondering
talking
there.
about they were talking about how it was like terrorist activity and shit, trying to give it a meaning before they knew it was up, and like all you have to do is say the kid's a terrorist or something and do it. You know what I mean? Make an example of him. I don't know.
Yeah, if
There's
they
just so
treat
many
them
ways
like
that
if they
could
treat
go.
them like terrorists.
Well,
So many ways
I
to
think
go.
they were trying to make a point that they had eradicated terrorists out of there. So I think they would
Yeah.
they would want to make it known that it was just a fucking kids fight. Whatever. Either way,
Yeah.
it doesn't like he going away.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what this movie is, though, right? Social commentary on like you said, like the miscommunication and the cultures being different and the mashup
Yeah.
of it all. That's what this is.
Yeah, but being confused by the way other people live and things like that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you watch this and you see like the good, the pros and cons of shit. Like you watch the way these Moroccan kids live, and they're literally like working all day. Like they don't live a life like they're laughing and they do have like pleasure and shit. But like it's not like American kids where they literally can just do what they want and hang out. You know what I mean? American kids aren't like, unless you're living on a farm, you're not herding goats and you're
we
not
go,
like
kids go to school and shit. I mean, that's like one thing
Exactly.
they do, but like they're not in school. They're just working.
they're working. Exactly.
little
They're
farm-
like
farm
little
kids.
they're like children people, like little
Yeah.
grown-ups. You know what I mean? They don't really have like the childhood
Well,
that like,
they-
American kids have.
They
Yeah, they have their-
survive
their
on their
family.
farm, so they
Yeah.
have to work the farm.
It's just different. And you see, I mean, there's pros
They're
and cons to
fucking
it all.
cowboys,
I mean,
dude.
they eat with their fucking hands out of the same
Yeah.
plate.
That scene made me like kind of hit a little bit where I'm just like,
Yeah.
damn, that's just like such a hard way to live. Like they're
Yeah.
just the three men are just like scooping shit into their face, like
Yeah.
out of the
mom's
same
back
bowl.
there.
It's like, yeah, it's just like
Yeah.
it's like crazy to think that that stuff
Look
is worldwide.
Yeah, that shit looked bomb. It was some sort of curry. It looked delicious.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Timmy did.
probably could. Have you been to Morocco?
Yeah.
You've been to Morocco, haven't you, Anthony? Yeah. Do you have the
See,
food there? Was
Georgie's in
food good?
fucking
I had
Georgie's in
some- I
fucking
had Morocco-
Australia.
I had
Huh?
some
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
tagines. What'd you
Tagines,
say about
nice.
Georgie?
He's in Australia.
Oh, that's cool.
Good-
It's pretty
good
far
for
from
him.
Morocco.
Yeah, just saying. He's going somewhere cool. He was in Fiji for a while and he was in Australia. So upset about that. I should have been out there. It's bullshit. Anyway.
Cool. That has a lot to do with the podcast.
It doesn't have to do with the podcast. Let's finish up this movie. Wrap it up, Jake.
Exactly. We love Georgie, but
Sucked.
Yeah,
We need to
Georgie's
talk about
cool.
Georgie.
Pluto rocks that.
yeah. We love Georgia here on Mega Much Movies, but we're
Shout
all
out to
jealous of
Georgia.
Australia.
Shout out to Davidson.
Yeah.
Georgie, my man.
Shout
Shout out to
Shout out to the big
all the
cat.
homies. Meow. Shout out to Danny.
Shout out to Danny
all
and
those
T.
guys.
Thanks
Tiara.
for the edibles.
Thanks for listening.
Wait, is this it? Are we done with this?
Oh, I don't know. Is that it? No.
No, wrap it up.
Was there any more? Yeah. Okay.
We
I
talked about
think,
the woman getting deported. We talked about the kids getting killed, and they're like, now you just gotta wrap up the Brad Pitt shit.
Basically, everyone's life gets ruined in this movie.
the Brad Pitt show is wrapped up. We talked about the phone call. It
Except
showed
for
the
the
other side of the
Japanese
phone
chick.
call at the hospital. Yeah.
Yeah, the Japanese chick
Japanese
reconciles with her
chick is
dad.
they're still grieving, but that her and her father embrace. Who knows if that's
She was
That
naked.
embrace-
It
end
was
of it,
weird
but
he didn't
it's
give her his jacket
something.
to cover up.
What?
It was a little strange.
She was naked. He could have gave
She
her
was
his
naked
jacket
still,
to cover
and
up,
he
but
was
he
just
didn't.
like-
That was kind of strange.
I thought that was it was
bit.
it was a choice, and it was a nice moment for them. Like what that we understood that things have been solved in that moment. Her standing there naked and him embracing her.
She's out there with the hairy monster just blowing in the wind.
I thought she was gonna jump.
Yeah, I was hoping she'd jump. That would be great.
Man, if she jumped
Oh,
and the
no.
kids dehydrated and died and fucking
Everyone died.
what else?
And then
Blanchett bled
Pitt's-
out.
Brad Pitt and Kate Blanchett's helicopter crashed.
Kate Blanchett
Brad-
dies.
Brad Pitt kills himself because his whole family's dead.
He makes the
It
helicopter
just
crash.
keeps going.
Yeah, everyone
Wow.
turns into zombies. Now it's World War Z.
World War Z too.
It just turns into World War Z. That's the beginning of World War Z.
Because the
Brad Pitt
helicopter crashes
suicide.
in the beginning of World War Z, right? Or no, is that the Will
Yeah.
Smith one? That's the
That-
I Am Legend.
That's the helicopter.
No, that's I Am Legend. Yeah,
both, I think.
is it
I
both?
think a helicopter also crashes into traffic. There's like a
Yeah,
traffic scene.
probably.
Isn't that what happens? It like crashes into traffic, and then people start running out of their cars and shit.
I can't remember. It's some
Maybe I'm
but
wrong.
I Am
I don't know.
Legend
I
definitely happens.
wasn't really into that movie, The World
I
War
think
Z.
in
Yeah, it was alright.
the 007 Spectre movie, there's a sick helicopter scene.
Sick train scene in one of those movies too.
Anyway, Babel.
Babel.
Yeah.
I think we
Babel.
got
Where
it.
do you rank
I think
it in
we'll-
Inuritu movies? Rank your Inuritus.
Ranking Inuritus? All right. Let's
yeah,
rank some
Inuritu.
Inuritus. All
Alright.
right. Let's think, get it exact. I don't go off the top of my head. So,
I'm
all
gonna
right.
go the-
Inuritu movies. Go on. Go ahead. You go.
We'll go The
Go ahead.
Revenant. Number
This is
one.
1 to 5, or okay, there you go.
What do you put number one?
No, just go through them. Or we do one at a time. You want to do that?
Let's do one at a time. That
All
sounds
right,
fun.
good. So you put Revenant. I'm gonna go Birdman.
I'll also go Birdman.
I'm going Birdman 2. So
I thought you
Yeah, I'll
said The
probably
Revenant.
go.
You just said the Revenant.
no, Birdman
No, he's
number 2.
number at number 2.
T-O.
No,
TWO. Not
TWO.
TWO. TWO.
Yes.
Whoa.
Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna do also The Revenant at 2.
yeah.
I'm also gonna do the Revenant too.
Okay, those are the top 2 in your reviews, of course. What about 3, Anthony? What do you think your third favorite in your review is?
What are his movies?
I think it might be Babel for me.
I'm gonna go with Beautiful. I like Javier Bardem.
You like
a
that
lot.
one?
I do.
That
I
one was
Javier
like
Bardem.
a similar tone. It was like sad as fuck. It was like
That's what he
and it
does.
was a little boring. It was a little long, a little
Eh,
rough.
I liked it.
Yeah.
It was
Anything
alright.
with Javier, I'm down
I'm
for
gonna
it.
go.
I love
I'm gonna
Bardem.
go
but-
Babel. No, I'm gonna go Amores Perros.
Have you seen it?
No, I haven't seen any of the rest of his movies.
So Babel would be your third. So you've seen those 3: Babel.
Yeah, but I'm gonna throw
Birdman,
Babel
Revenant.
at 4.
All right, Amores Perros is probably my 4.
All right, I'm gonna go Babel for me.
Yeah, same.
Okay, 5. Probably 21 grams.
Same for me.
5. I'm gonna go Beautiful.
All right, I think Beautiful is probably my 6th spot, and then Bardo
Okay.
after that.
I've never
Those are the
seen
last
Mars
2.
Paris, but I guess I'll put it before Bardo because I don't like Bardo.
Fair.
Same.
And I feel like Amaris Paris is known as one of the best like first features for a director. You know what I mean? It's pretty hard hitting.
Yeah, for a first movie, it's definitely strong. It's good. I haven't watched it in
He
a long
was-
time.
he was, like,
I wanna-
40 when he
it
made
made
that
me want to
movie,
watch
too.
it again. Shit, that was
He
in
started at
2000.
40 making movies.
How old is he? What is he, like 63?
He's pretty old, yeah.
Damn. All right.
I know.
well,
All
as
those
old
guys
as
are getting
you,
up there,
Jake.
dude. All those guys like Lubeski, Emmanuel Lubeski, Alfonso Cuarón, they're in their like late 50s too.
Alfonso Cuarón is 61.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm looking at his movies right now.
His movies are crazy.
Inarritu-
Alfonso
and
Cuarón
Inarritu
hasn't made
is-
that many,
is
but they're all
60.
great.
Bangers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Inarritu is 60. He was born
Yeah.
in 63. All right.
Um,
What do you rate this movie on a scale of 1 to 10?
I mean, it's a great movie.
6.8.
Ooh, okay. I'm gonna give it a solid 7-1.
Yeah, I was gonna go like 7.3.
There you go.
definitely. It's up there. I think it has its flaws, but it's very strong, very
It's
unique narrative, great look, great performances.
it's a well crafted movie. You can't.
Good movie.
Yeah,
It's a well made
For sure.
fucking movie.
Good
You
movie. I
can't-
hated it.
Yeah, whether if you thought it was boring or if you liked it or you never want to watch it again, which I won't watch it again, but I'm still never gonna say it's a bad movie. It's a great fucking movie. It's a watch this
Yeah.
movie for sure.
One
Worth
of my
seeing.
criteria is like enjoyability, and so that brings it down.
That's fair. Not
A lot.
that enjoyable, but interesting, right? Like captivating. Is that one part of any of your criteria? Is that
But
something along those
captivating under
lines?
plot. Is plot good?
Okay, strong, right? Strong plot.
Strong plot.
How that score. Yeah.
Strong plot. Plot scored like a 7-7.
Are you glad you saw it?
Yeah, I'll tell people
Cool.
about it.
Cool.
Do I wish Brad
All right.
Pitt was into The Departed? Yeah, kinda.
Me too.
I think Wahlberg did supposedly he was up for or going to do the Wahlberg part. Supposedly.
See, I heard
That's
differently.
No fact. What'd you hear?
I heard he was going to be the Matt Damon part.
I could see him being in the Matt Damon part. I think that'd
Yeah.
be better. That would have been a rad Brad Pitt
I think Matt Damon killed it in
Leo
Departed.
combo.
And I think
yeah.
Matt Damon, that's my favorite Matt Damon movie, to be honest,
Dude.
because I'm not the biggest Matt Damon fan, honestly, but I think he was really, really great in that. I'm not saying he's a bad actor. I enjoy all of his movies. Every single movie he's made, I like, but he doesn't stand out to me as much as I guess he does other people. But in Departed,
Right.
he was great. He was fucking, I
Very
hated
good.
him in that movie. He was a fucking scumbag, and you think he's gonna get away with it too. You're like, oh my God, if
Would
Brad
you
Pitt
have-
if Brad Pitt had that accent, I think he would have been awesome. The only problem is
trying to think of
what I
Brad
think
Pitt
works
in
so
it.
well.
I don't know.
But this is the problem, though. What works so well is that Matt Damon and Leo are the same age. Brad Pitt's like 9 years older than him, and I think what made Departed cool is that like they went through the same shit at the same time in their life, and I think that kind of adds to that movie. You know what I mean? They're like
true.
34, 33-year-old dudes in that movie. And like they're going through a thing, whereas Brad Pitt would have been like 45, you know what I mean, 43, or 44, 42. I think he's like 8 or 9 years older than those guys. You know what I mean? So it's like
yeah,
it's
that's
different.
that's a good point. I could
know what I
see
mean? It's a little
that. I think
different.
it would have been funny if Matt Damon instead got bumped down to the Wahlberg role.
Wahlberg.
Because then he still could have been like a crazy Boston cop guy.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Matt Damon doesn't always do comedy, but like when he does, I think it's pretty good.
It's pretty funny. Yeah, I'll give him that.
I could see him.
That's
as-
what I
yeah,
mean.
it-
Matt Damon's
as
You're
the Wahlberg role.
matching DiCaprio with Wahlberg or with Damon as those interchangeable two parts makes more sense than for
they
age
almost look
wise.
like the same person, to be honest. Like if you put them next to
Yeah.
each other in a lineup, people would be like, those guys look like brothers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, at that time they did it. They did, especially in that movie, they did that well.
Yes, they were young. They were both young. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna go
Yeah.
watch that movie right now.
And I want to watch Boris Paros. Probably not right now because that's probably another super sad one. But I'll watch that pretty soon because I need to watch.
All
that
right.
again.
Great
long
movie.
time.
Great movie. Good shit.
Good movie. Good times. Cool. Thanks for listening.